Rebecca, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Jessica. I'm so excited to be here.
I know, I'm so excited to talk to you. So, this is the second time we've had a chat because I've been on your podcast, so now we're switching gears and I get to ask you all the questions. So,
I know. I can't wait. I'm so excited to be on your podcast.
oh, thank you. Well, before we sort of get into all the questions I have for you, because my mind is just racing, can you tell everyone about who you are and how you became the magnetic abundance mentor for women?
Absolutely. I moved to Hollywood about 25 years ago thinking I was going to be an actress, but the universe had other plans for me. And although I had small parts on really big shows like Friends, CSI, 24, and ER, just to name a few, I found my way into the children's acting school business. And I loved working with the kids, but what I really loved was the schedule because while the kids were off at school, I was taking classes with spiritual teachers like Abraham Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham, Michael Beckwith, Louise Hay, Marianne Williamson, Wayne Dyer. And I really did a deep dive into the law of attraction. I started applying it to my life. I got to be the healthiest I've ever been. I started making six figures, but I didn't apply it so well to my love life. And I had the habit of picking narcissistic, emotionally unavailable men and then trying to change them, which we know doesn't work. I took one on as a marriage project, and 3 years after marriage, I filed for divorce. It was just too toxic, too abusive, too painful to sustain. And as my marriage started to painfully and slowly and expensively unravel, because he sued me for spousal support, my dad started to slowly decline in a nursing home. And the two events culminated the same week. My dad was buried on a Wednesday. My divorce was finalized on a Friday.
Oh my
And my
God.
dad's dying wish was for me to write a book. So a few months after his passing, I was sitting across the desk from my financial planner, and he's like, "You always come in here with great energy and you're having your best fiscal year ever. You've actually become a millionaire with all your investments. And I think you should teach women how to be so resilient." So I wrote a book called How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time. And in the book, I divide life into seven key pillars, which I call my seven pillars of abundance. And when you have all seven pillars of life in alignment, you can be, do, or have anything you want. So now I teach women to go from burned out to balanced, beautiful, and abundant through aligning their life in these seven key areas.
Oh my God, I love this. And now I want to ask because everyone's going to be sitting here thinking the same thing. What are these pillars and how do we get some of this happening?
Yes, absolutely. So the first pillar is spirituality, which everybody listening to your show, you're already getting an A plus plus plus. So having spirituality is the foundation of living a happy life. The second pillar is fitness, having your health, because when you have your health, you have everything. When you don't have your health, your whole life becomes about getting your health back. The next pillar is your emotions, keeping your vibration high, staying in an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset. After emotions, it's romance. Your romantic pillar can affect all the other pillars, and having a partner that lifts you up and enhances your life is crucial. And I'm happy to say I'm now married to my soulmate, and we've been married 3.5 years, and we're just living happily ever after. We just moved from LA to Ohio to our dream house, and I just started my whole life over during my Saturn returns. So the next pillar after romance is mental, and mental means continually growing your mind, learning new things, being creative, traveling. After mental is social, having the right people around you that support your goals and dreams, people like you, a mentor who can show you what to do, and also people that you can guide and mentor to be of service. And then finally, financial. And everybody, Jessica, thinks when you are an abundance coach, it's all about money. But
Mm.
I have found in my personal experience that money is the last piece of the puzzle to click into place when you are spiritually and physically fit and you are in love and you have great friends and you're learning, you are going to attract opportunities to you, just like I attracted you to me. I
I love
wasn't
that.
looking for you, but somehow your assistant found me and you were attracted to me, and now we're collaborating, and that's exactly how it works.
I love that. And I think too, like probably from what I was just thinking, as you were saying that, I'm going, oh, am I aligned with that? Is this area of my life okay? Like, what happens if when people are listening right now, they're like, oh, well, I've got these five, but like the other two are like missing or they're not exactly where I'd want them to be. Like, what would your advice be of where to start?
Well, everybody has an area that needs support, one or two or three areas. Usually people have like one area they're crushing it in. For example, you might be making a lot of money, but maybe you don't have enough time to work out because you're so focused on your career. Maybe,
Yeah.
you're so like focused on your friends that you don't have time to date or whatever. So
Mm,
that's totally normal. That's why this framework is so valuable because
mm,
you want to actually look at each area and give yourself a check-in on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you at? And what would it take to get you to a level 10? And then you can hire a coach like myself or you or other people. I know you're not a coach
mm,
or a psychic, but you can
mm,
hire someone to help you get that area to a level 10 or listen to
mm,
a podcast. But just having the awareness of knowing, wow, having this balanced, beautiful, and abundant life means having all seven areas of these of life working together, and they're like spokes in a bicycle wheel. I mean, your bicycle can still ride if a couple spokes are broken off, but it's
yeah.
going to ride a lot better, more smoothly if they're all working together. And it's never perfect. There's always, tweaks, but that's why it's fun, just having this framework going like, okay, well, I had a great week of, work, but I didn't make it to the gym. Just knowing that this framework exists helps you live a more holistic, balanced life.
Yeah, I think that that's super helpful. Even I'm sitting here going, the pillar I struggle with the most, and people might be surprised about this, is my fitness. I really struggle because I'm so busy all the time with work and I prioritize
Right.
it. So I'm like, this is where I need to be. I need to show up. I need to be in this mindset. I need to do this and that. And then when I have little cracks throughout the day, I'm like, oh, I could be doing more. Whereas I should be going, no, this is my chance. This is my window to just get out and get into our gym. We have a home gym and just start shit, get going. But sometimes I get there some weeks and then other weeks I don't. And then I beat myself up. I'm like, oh, Jess, you're so fat. And all that mindset stuff, like,
Yes. Well,
all
you
the
don't want to
things.
beat yourself up, and
No.
that, women or men calling themselves fat, that is how the patriarchy controls us by making
Mm-hmm.
us always feel fat. So you don't want
Yeah,
to say that, but
I know.
you have a home gym. So in the nooks and crannies of your day, when you have 5 or 10 minutes, you could do like push-ups, squats, sit-ups. I'm sure you
Yeah,
have like a bike or some kind of cardio machine, a treadmill. You could just do like a quick cardio burst. So it's just
yeah.
having that awareness about it, not to beat yourself up, but also to make it really fun. Like have
Mm,
your favorite, power mix of your favorite songs that get you totally amped up and like run
yeah.
for 5 minutes in between Zooms or something. And then you'll come back to the next Zoom like, I'm ready to go.
You're so right. I love that. And the thing is too, like I'm still conquering my mind just like everybody else. So I have all those negative things I tell myself every single day and I have to try and turn myself around. So if you say things like that to yourself like I do, you're not the only one. But we have to get better at trying not to be that way. So I do want to ask you about like unlocking like confidence within. So I feel like sometimes we, I guess, aren't as forward with what we're actually thinking or what we're wanting in our life, whether it be in relationships or at work and things like that. We kind of hold back and we're not as, I guess, successful in relationships or at work or any area of your life when you don't actually speak your truth. If someone was struggling with like expression, I guess, how would you help them, I guess, be a little bit clearer?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've been on about 200 podcasts and nobody's ever asked me this, so I'm really excited to answer this.
Oh, I love that.
The first thing is and am I allowed to cuss on this
Yeah,
podcast?
we do it all the time.
Okay, not to give a fuck what people think.
Yeah.
Okay. And the next thing is to use the sandwich method. So compliment, ask for what you want, compliment. So let's say
Mm,
that, you want your partner to show up for dinner on time. So you compliment them and say, gosh, I love our dinner dates. They make me so happy. We have the best conversations. However, I am not comfortable waiting 20 minutes by myself at a restaurant. I feel very self-conscious. I feel like it's a huge waste of my time. So and using I statements too, because when you say you to someone, you immediately put them on the defensive. So if you're like, you're always late, you don't value my time, you're so tardy, that makes them defensive. But when you're like, I don't feel comfortable sitting at a restaurant by myself for 20 minutes, I'm not making good use of my time. And then you say, what do you think we can do about it? And put it on them, listen and say, that sounds like a great solution. And again, thank you so much for hearing me out. And I'm so grateful, that we can have this conversation. And let's say they're like, you know what, screw you, I'm going to be late and that's how I roll. Then you get to make a decision if you want to be in a relationship like that. Because if somebody doesn't honor your wants and needs and honor your boundaries, then it could be that you're in a relationship that's toxic or with a narcissist or, a codependency where someone is a 10 and their thoughts and feelings get validated, but yours do not. So somebody's the 10 and somebody else is 0. So think about, wow, if I can't ask for what I want in a relationship, and if I get the courage to do it and it doesn't get validated, what kind of relationship is it? And also do it messy. Like it's going to be, even if you have to write it down and be like, I'm so sorry, I have to write this down. I'm really nervous to say this. I mean, who cares? As long as you get it out. And then the more you practice asking for what you want and need, the better you get.
I love that. You know what? I'm so glad that you've answered it this way because I've never heard anyone say it the way that you just did. And I wasn't even going to ask you that question. I kind of was looking at my question and I made it up as I was going because I'm like, I feel intuitively like people need to hear that. I love that approach because it's so positive too. It's not, I'll go into an argument or get into a conflict with someone. It's like, say it in a way that still feels aligned to you. If you're not a conflict kind of person, you don't go at people straight away. So I love that. Okay. I actually want to talk about the 777 challenge because I saw that on your page and I was like, this sounds fun. So, what is it and how can we do it?
Oh, okay. Well, you said everybody feels like, how do I tap into these 7 pillars? Well, you do it through the 777 challenge because it's 7 pillars of abundance in 7 days. And it doesn't take a lot of time. It's like, I will show you a short video, 7 to 10 minute video that'll teach you a distinction, give you an assignment, a very simple assignment that you can do to take that pillar from wherever it is to a level 10 where you feel an activation.
Yeah.
And after 7 days, you'll have all 7 pillars of abundance in alignment and you'll have a whole resurgence of confidence and empowerment. So yeah, I would encourage anybody to take it. I think it's on sale in my pillar.io link, which you can share, but it's only
I
like
love.
$40 to have like a whole like new life as far as your alignment.
Oh my God, everyone's jumping on that. I will. I'll put the link for everybody so they can do that. I do
Great.
actually want to talk about more of the financial side of things, like how to get unstuck financially. And you've got this framework called the 4 A's. So can you break that down for us and just tell us how it works and how we can get unstuck if we feel that way?
Great. Yeah, you can apply the 4 A's to any of the 7 areas where you feel stuck, but finances are very, I don't know what it's like in Australia, but in the United States, we're having a crazy financial time. Is it the same over there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So people are really feeling that. So what it is the 4 A's of transformations. The first A is the awareness that you have a limiting belief. So common limiting belief is I'll always be broke. Okay. By the way, if you use the word always and never, those are words of defeatism and there's no room for change. So look at those 2 words, always and never. They're often in limiting belief. So I'll always be broke. I'll never make any money. That's the limiting belief. So that's the first A, the awareness. The second A is acceptance. Don't beat yourself up. Don't say, I listened to the I Talk to Dead People podcast. I listened to Jessica Lynn. I've had 3 readings with her. What is my problem? Like, why am I still beating myself up? I know better. Don't do that. Just accept it. Okay, I have this limiting belief. I think I'll always be broke. So the second A is acceptance. The third A is to come up with an affirmation that is the opposite of what you believe. And it can't be so far out there that your mind won't believe it. So if you go from I'll always be broke to I manifest $5 million this year, your subconscious is going to be like, oh, go fuck yourself. That's never going to happen. So, but if you say that I am so happy and grateful that I have, extra money after I pay my bills to do something fun,
Mm.
that is like I can wrap my head around that because something fun could be anything. It could be like going to the park and having a picnic. It could be getting a massage. It could be, getting a mani-pedi. It could be like going to the movies, like whatever. Like I have more than enough money after I pay my bills to do something fun for myself. That feels like, okay, someone can wrap their head around that it's feeling broke. And then the fourth A is action. So I don't believe in just staying home and saying affirmations. You have to do something that's an action. So if you always feel broke, you want to do something that would manifest abundance. So make an extra, if you're in sales, make an extra 5 phone calls, re return some emails, like do some outreach, take some action that would create some more money. Ask someone for a raise. I mean, just do some kind of action to show yourself that, yes, I am serious about manifesting more money. So those are the 4 A's of transformation.
I like that. I like the way you describe that too. I'm all for manifestation as well. I love it. I think that it works, but you do have to do something. You can't just be sitting back
Yeah.
waiting for all the things to just land in your lap. You do have to take those aligned actions. So I love the way that you describe that. I want to talk about spirituality for you. So obviously it's been a massive part of your life and your journey and how you operate day to day. What are some of your like spiritual practices, or how do you incorporate your connection with the other side into what you do?
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow. Is cat 4. Go across to the limeglow.com and buy some of our products. Meow.
I have got a great story to tell you. So when I was 19, I hit my bottom with drinking and I started going to AA meetings. And I met a woman who I think is an angel. Her name is Janet. And she sat down next to me and she said, I want to show you how to write in a God journal. And I had no idea that she would give me like my connection to source. So she gave me some life-changing journal prompts. And for example, like I'll give these to your listeners too, but how the worst thing that happened to me is actually the best thing. That journal prompt alone completely turned my ego on its side. And it's like, wow, a bad day for the ego is a good day for the soul, right? Like it helps me flip my day around. The worst thing that happened to me is actually the best thing. So that is one of the examples, but it turned my thinking from just being very egoic and narrow-minded to being open for miracles and being open to how the universe is actually taking great care of me. So this God journal I've done every morning for over 30 years, and it has opened my communication to source. So now I am clairaudient. I'm hearing all day long what my next indicated action is. And I dream things that I know I can take action on the next day. And it's changed my life doing that morning writing. It only takes me 5 to 10 minutes. So writing every morning. Oh, by the way, I'm going to let my dog out because as I said, my husband just got back from work.
Oh my gosh.
So writing every morning, in that I call my abundance journal. That's
Mhm.
the number 1 tool. Also affirmations, every year in January. So if you're listening, make sure you get on my mailing list because every year in January, I do a free workshop where we write 3 affirmations and all 7 pillars of abundance. So we have 21 affirmations for each new year, and they're on
Wow.
little and I read those affirmations. Another part of the morning practice is I read from spiritual literature. One of the books I'm reading right now is called The Pivot Year, which I'm really loving. How Your Home is Your Vision Board with Marie Diamond. I try to read 2 or 3 spiritual books in the morning, not for long, maybe like 5 minutes. And then I meditate, and I do guided meditation. It could be from YouTube or Insight Timer app. And I don't meditate for super long, like 5 to 10 minutes. So this whole morning practice, depending on how late I'm running, because I tend to run late in the morning, could be anywhere from 10 to 40 minutes, just depending on how open my morning is. And this really sets up my day. Then I pray. You're gonna laugh so hard. I drink, like, I'm hydrated as fuck, so I pee all the time, and every time I pee, I pray. So literally,
Oh,
I'm
I love that.
I'm praying all day long, because as I go to the bathroom, I'm praying. I also say affirmations in the shower. It's so I'm like praying or saying affirmations so much because I shower and, like, go to the bathroom all day. And then how else do I communicate with source? Basically, if I'm ever confused during the day, I just ask myself, what would love do? What would love say? What would love, what would their response be? How would they perceive this? Because everything is fear or love. So all the negative emotions, hatred, jealousy, bitterness, resentment, cynicism are all fear-based. And I want to keep my vibration high and stay in love and above. So if I feel myself going low vibe into fear, which I do on any given day, I'm only human, I'm not an ascended master, I'll try to gear up back to love and say, okay, I'm feeling fear, I'm feeling negativity. How would love perceive this situation? And that's another way that I practice spirituality. And then the concepts of acceptance. I like to say that I accept that every person, place, thing, or situation, every word, feeling, thought, and action is exactly as it's supposed to be today. Nothing happens in God's world by mistake. And that's actually from the literature of AA. And surrender, I just think surrender is such an amazing concept. And in my God journal, I have a gratitude list. I have a surrender list, things that are causing me anxiety, I surrender. And then I do have a to-do list, but I also have a being list, because we create from our beingness, not our doingness. So how do I want to be today? I want to be present. I want to be connected. I want to be playful. I want to be loving. So I have a to-be list as well as a to-do list. And those are just some of the ways I practice spirituality, but I'm in communication with God all day.
I love that. I love the pray while you pee. Everyone's going to be doing that now. It's so smart because it's a little pocket of time that you have. So why not utilize it,
Yeah, I
multitask.
mean, if I'm not on my phone, I'm praying, but just like everybody else, I'm on my phone most of the time when I'm peeing, but I'm also praying. And
Yeah.
it's a great thing to do, because I was like, if I'm gonna have to pee all day long, I might as well use it to pray.
Yeah, I love that.
I
So
should
good.
make t-shirts, pray while you pee.
I think you should too. It should be the episode title, Pray While You Pee. People will listen to this. They'll be like,
They
what is this?
will. That is clickbait.
That's the best. Oh my gosh. Well, I wanted to ask you too. This is something that's just come to me. Because you work so hard to stay in that loving place and that high vibrational energy, what do you do when you have a lot of people around you and you're working with people all of the time who aren't in that space and are trying to get to that place, and unintentionally sometimes people's energy, the residual energy of that kind of stays on you a little bit? How do you recognize when it's not your own, or if you've been affected by somebody else, how do you release that?
Gosh, it's such a good question. I love being interviewed by a psychic, because you don't have to look at your questions. It's all intuitive. Um, you know, I have to stay really high vibe if I know I'm going to be doing a session. Like earlier today, I had a session with somebody who was in like a very victim mentality, and every time I would say something positive, she would turn it into a victim story,
Yeah.
and it didn't lower my vibration. So it just shows like I've improved so much in this area.
Yeah.
Um, I just have to stay high vibe through all the things I told you.
Mm.
and music, and also surrounding myself with a lot of light. And I like also the analogy I just put on my social media about a week ago, the hula hoop analogy. Like I have a hula hoop around me, and inside of my hula hoop are my, vibration, energy, thoughts, affirmations, my psyche. And then outside of my hula hoop, there are other people in their hula hoop. And I can give them advice. I can coach them on how to get out of their hula hoop, but ultimately it's their stuff.
Yeah, that's true. And it's funny too. One of the things that I like to do, which just flew into my mind, is when I'm communicating with someone and I feel like that I'm getting frustrated by the conversation or they're just talking in that victim energy or whatever that might be. I visualize I'm standing there and I'm listening to them, like we're having the conversation. And in my mind, I'm almost like imagining all of their energy like ricocheting off me and going back to them. I just always picture like
Yeah.
all of this white light coming into my head through like my crown chakra and through like my life force energy. I'm pushing all their energy back to them. So sometimes when I'm talking to people, I'm visualizing that. I'm going, that's yours, that's yours. I'm not going to let that come to me. I'm not going to let it affect me and sit in me because I'm very open when I talk to people because I want to intuitively guide them. But I
Yeah.
also don't want them hooking into me and taking what is mine. So I sometimes sit there visualizing all their stuff bouncing back to them. So it's something that you can do too. Everyone can do
Yeah, I
if
like
you're
that.
talking to
The
someone.
ricochet.
Yeah, definitely. But I like the hula hoop. That's really cute. I love all of like the visuals. I'm so visual. So when you said that, I'm like, I can see that. I can see me in my
Yeah.
little hula hoop with all of my love and all of my goodness and all the rose quartz crystals. I feel like I'm just
Well,
cover myself with them.
exactly. I love the crystals. And oh, I remember I was looking at one of your social media. I'm like, what crystal should we sleep next to? I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah,
What
so
crystal do
I
you sleep next to?
I love rose quartz and I love amethyst in the bedroom.
Oh,
They're my two
good.
favorites. It just brings a lot of calm, love, peace, that kind of energy. I had a little bit of a an uproar when people were like, "Why can't you put selenite in your bedroom?" It's something that I just don't do because I literally have selenite right next to me right now, and that's how I connect with spirit. So I don't like to put my crystals I use for spirituality in my bedroom because I don't want them coming to me at night. So that's just something I personally do. And a lot of people have removed selenite from their room and now they're sleeping better. So just a thing, personal preference. But yeah, that got a lot of traction actually. It was quite funny. But
That
yes,
was quite a post. Another analogy I like for not taking on people's stuff is a driving analogy. Just stay in your lane, don't
yeah.
go into other people's lane. Just stay
Yeah.
in your focus on your goal, which is keeping your vibration high, being a loving light source in the world, and don't let, I also like to use the word negativity. Don't let their negativity bring you down.
Yes, that's so true. It's hard to when you're in a place where you're focusing so hard on it. Like if you're in this energy of trying to get all your seven pillars into place and you're so focused on being the best version of you, you really have to be careful who you're surrounding yourself with because some people aren't in that they're not in that growth space. They're not wanting to work on themselves like you are. So you have to be aware of how much you can help people and how much they need to do their part. You can only, it's
And
like
they'll
that
make fun of
analogy.
you. They'll make fun
Yes.
of people make fun of me all the time that are not in that space. They make fun of me for how I'm eating because I'm very, particular with what I put into my mouth and how I'm thinking and that I'm
Wow.
not thinking or whatever. Like, but you know what? That's their stuff. If they're making fun of me wanting to have this balanced, beautiful, and abundant life is like a mirror for them not being aligned. And that is why they're wanting to like make fun of me. And I'm okay with it.
Yeah. That is so true. I think when people aren't in that space, they put it down. So, and that's sad. I've started to get into the space of looking at people, not getting angry or like annoyed by the fact they're not in the same place as me, but more so going, oh, I'm like, that's a bit sad. That's sad for you that you're not in that place, but you do you kind of thing, because you can't force people to see things they're not willing to see. And that's the crux of it. So, all right. I love to, I guess before we go into Jade's questions, I do want to ask you,
Jade.
my wife. So,
Oh, I didn't know Jade had questions.
she has questions for you, and they're very random. They make no sense, and you can't prepare for them.
Okay, I love it.
I love it. But before we go into them, can you just tell everyone how they can connect with you?
Yes. My Instagram is at Rebecca E. Whitman. You can find me on my website, Rebecca Elizabeth Whitman with a Z.com. And on my Instagram, and also you can share in the show notes, is a pillar.io link. It has all my upcoming events, retreats, the 777 challenge. It has from burned out to blissed out, a free guide, all the goodies, the freebies, where I love to shop, the products I'm loving, all the stuff. It's a whole universe in my pillar.io link. So check that out. It's again, the link in my Instagram bio, or Jessica can share it in the show notes.
I will, definitely. Amazing. All right. Here's your 3 random questions. Your first one is, people say out of whack. What is whack? Have you heard that saying? Like it's out of whack? What's whack?
Out of whack. I would say that whack in this phrase means being high functioning. So if something is out of whack, like my dishwasher is out of whack, it would mean like my dishwasher is not functioning properly. If you say I'm out of whack, that means you're out of alignment in one or more of these 7 pillars, and you're not functioning as well as you can. So
I love that. I love that question is so aligned to what we're talking about, being out of whack. It's so funny. Like every time I ask these questions, it's relevant in some way. It's weird.
Are they the same questions every time?
No, every single time I read, like I do a podcast for someone, she just gives me 3 random questions, and one of them always relates. It's like she's psychic. It's weird.
It is.
All right, second question. What would you take to a desert island? I would take a boat. You weren't going to say a boat, were you?
Oh my God, that is so funny. If I was going to go to a desert island, I would take my supplements, because I am obsessed with my nutritional supplements. They are keeping me young and feeling amazing and strong. And I believe in aging in reverse. And I would want to stay like young and energized. And also on a deserted island, I wouldn't think I would probably have to like plant my food or eat whatever is there. And I wouldn't think that they would have the nutritional value that I would need. So it would be to take my supplements.
I feel like that too. I don't think I could deal without them. I wouldn't go. I'd be like, where's all my stuff? All right.
My supplements. Yeah.
Yes, me too. Okay. Your third question. If prunes are dried plums, where do they get prune juice from?
Oh, wow. Jade is really stumping me.
That's stumping you.
Wow. Well, if prunes are dried plums, well, I would say you would still have to mash them up and add water.
Yeah. Now it's got me thinking.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of moisture in the prune, but I would say if you put prunes in the blender and add water, that would be prune juice.
Oh, I love that.
It's a great laxative. So that goes with the health and wellness theme.
It does. I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here. It has been so awesome to talk to you.
It's been great to be here. Thanks so much for your wonderful personality. I love talking to you. You're so much fun. And thanks everyone for listening. And I can't wait to see how you guys do with the 777 challenge. And please stay in touch.
Yes, absolutely.